Hello friends, welcome to Nit with Bioscience. Today we are starting a new topic, that is Krebs cycle. Up till now we had seen that during the process of aerobic respiration, first glucose has converted into pyruvate. That takes place in the cytoplasm of the cells. Then pyruvate has then entered into the mitochondria, right? And then it has converted into acetyl-CoA. Now that acetyl-CoA will enter into Krebs cycle. So today we will discuss that Krebs cycle into detail. Krebs cycle, which is also known as a tricarboxylic acid cycle. Why? Because the first product which is formed in the Krebs cycle having the 3-carboxylic group, that's why it is also known as a tricarboxylic acid cycle, and the name of that product is citrate. Therefore it is also known as a citric acid cycle. This cycle was proposed by Sir Hans Krebs in 1937, and for which he got Nobel Prize in 1953. Now we'll see some overview of Krebs cycle one by one. Okay, the site where Krebs cycle takes place, it is a mitochondria. Most of the eukaryotic cell have mitochondria, but there are some exceptions like RBC. RBC don't have mitochondria. So in that case, glucose will convert to pyruvate, and then pyruvate will follow the anaerobic pathway, will convert into lactic acid. Because RBC don't have mitochondria. RBC is such a honest, because though it has a reach in oxygen, we all know that hemoglobin is there, and hemoglobin is at the center of hemoglobin, oxygen is there. But as RBC don't have mitochondria, therefore RBC never utilizes its own oxygen for its aerobic respiration. RBC generally transport the oxygen to the tissue, where tissue means RBC generally perform the transport of oxygen. It will not utilize its own oxygen. Okay, and prokaryotic cell. In the prokaryotic cell, which is a simple cell, we all know that, and which don't have membranous structure like nucleus, mitochondria, all are not present in the prokaryotic cell. So in that case, Krebs cycle takes place in the prokaryotic cell, but it is in the cytosol. Okay, now you got the difference. In the RBC, it takes the anaerobic pathway. In the prokaryotic cell, Krebs cycle takes place in the cytosol. But in the most of the eukaryotic cell, the site of Krebs cycle is mitochondria. Got it? All the enzymes required for Krebs cycle is present in the mitochondria. So we'll just focus on this part, that is mitochondria. Okay. It is also known as a final common metabolic pathway. What does it mean? Like fat, carbohydrate, amino acid or proteins, they all follow their individual metabolic pathway of breakdown. And finally this everything will convert to acetyl-CoA, and then acetyl-CoA will enter into Krebs cycle. Okay, therefore this is known as a common metabolic pathway of all the product, like all the substrate, like fat having their individual metabolic pathway, carbohydrate will have that we had discussed in detail, that carbohydrate will convert to pyruvate then convert to acetyl-CoA. Breakdown of amino acid, that will also have the one of the intermediate, it is acetyl-CoA. So this is the common pathway for all the metabolic process. During reading this topic, I came across one interesting term. It is like a metabolic sink. We can consider it as a sink. So this way, all the substrate like fat, carbohydrate, amino acid, they will undergo their individual metabolic process, and then like a sink, they will come to the one common point, that is acetyl CoA, and then acetyl CoA will enter into Krebs cycle. Therefore, it is known as a final common metabolic pathway, which Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is final common metabolic pathway. Yeah, you can remember the like a metabolic sink. Next, it gives reducing equivalent like NADH and FADH2. This point we will discuss later in a detail. NADH, FADH2 at a very little direct ATP will also produce in the Krebs cycle. Okay, amphibolic role. What is amphibolic role? Right now we have just seen that the fat or carbohydrate or amino acid, they are undergoing the breakdown process. Therefore, it is known as a catabolic. Yeah, we just take the example of carbohydrate. Okay, so carbohydrate will convert first into pyruvate. Pyruvate will convert to acetyl CoA, and acetyl CoA will enter into Krebs cycle to generate energy. Yeah, so this is known as a catabolic pathway. Yeah, this is catabolic pathway. And as we see Krebs cycle, you will come to know that some of the intermediate of Krebs cycle, they are also involved in the synthesis of some, like for example, they are involved in the synthesis of some amino acid, heme, purine, pyrimidines. Some of the intermediates are also involved in the synthesis process. So synthesis is known as an anabolic. That is anabolic pathway. Sorry. Anabolic. Therefore, the Krebs cycle is both catabolic as well as anabolic. Yeah, catabolic means breakdown to generate energy, and anabolic means synthesis, to synthesize from raw material or substrate. So that is anabolic. So Krebs cycle is both catabolic as well as anabolic. Therefore, it is also known as a amphibolic pathway. Okay. Next, it provides intermediate of number of metabolic pathway. This will also discuss in detail. And yes, the important Krebs cycle has a 8-step. 8 enzymatic reaction is involved for the breakdown and the generation of energy from acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA will act as a fuel. Yeah, the fuel will first enter into the cycle, and after the certain reaction, 8-step reaction, after 8-step reactions, we will get energy in the form of NADH, FADH2, and some sort of direct ATP will also form here. Okay, so now let us start the Krebs cycle in detail. This acetyl CoA, it is a 2-carbon compound. Okay, so this 2-carbon compound, acetyl, okay, we'll rub everything. Acetyl CoA, 2-carbon compound, first condenses with oxaloacetic acid or oxaloacetate, which is a 4-carbon compound. There is a condensation, and this coenzyme A will be removed, and the product form here is a citrate, which is having the 3-carboxylic group. Therefore, it is also known as a tricarboxylic acid cycle, and the first is a citrate or citric acid. Yeah, so therefore it is also known as a citric acid cycle, citrate, and the enzyme involved here is a citrate synthase. Got it? Then there is just a isomerization. Citrate will convert to isocitrate. So citrate will convert to isocitrate, but Actually it is a two-step reaction where citrate will first convert to cis-aconitase, and then this cis-aconitase will convert to isocitrate. Means two steps are involved here. First there is a dehydrogenation and there is a rehydro, means removal of the water and then addition of the water. So there is just a shifting of OH group from one carbon to another carbon. So from citrate we will get isocitrate, that is a isomerization reaction. So this is just a isomerization reaction where there is just shifting of OH group, and enzyme involved here is aconitase. Aconitase. Now the important step will come here. Isocitrate then convert to alpha keto glutarate. Alpha ketoglutarate, and alpha ketoglutarate will convert to succinyl coenzyme A. Now, how you can remember K? So we can consider K for cutting. Actually is having the spelling C, but we'll just for our understanding, K is for cutting. So cutting means there is a removal of one carbon atom in the form of carbon dioxide. Here carbon will be removed or blown out in the form of carbon dioxide from both the side. Okay, so how we can remember this? Cutting, alpha ketoglutarate has a cutting from both left side as well as the right side, so that you can remember the placement from where the carbon dioxide is removing or where the NADH is generated. So cutting, you can remember a block of alpha ketoglutarate. So cutting takes place from the right side and the left side. So now you can remember this: before alpha ketoglutarate there is one removal of carbon dioxide, and after alpha ketoglutarate there is one more removal of carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. Okay, cutting takes place from both left side and the right side of alpha ketoglutarate. So cutting, yeah, that means removal of the carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. Yeah, that is oxidation. It is a decarboxylation. So earlier I had mentioned, whenever there is a oxidation, at the same time reduction also takes place, because these both the steps are redox reaction. Redox reaction means oxidation and the reduction takes place simultaneously, or in other words we can say that if there is a carbon-carbon bond breakdown, so after the breakdown of carbon-carbon bond, some sort of energy will release, and that energy will be captured by reducing agent, that is NADH. So here we'll get NAD will convert here NADH plus H positive ion, and here also NAD will convert to NADH plus H positive ion. Okay, so two carbon will remove in the form of carbon dioxide, that is a decarboxylation and dehydrogenation. So the name of enzyme here is isocitrate dehydrogenase. We can write it here, isocitrate dehydrogenase, and here is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Okay, this step is extremely important step. Here the conversion of alpha ketoglutarate into succinyl coenzyme A takes place in an exactly similar way, where pyruvate will convert to acetyl CoA. Yeah, both the steps are exactly similar. If you had watched my previous video where pyruvate has converted to acetyl CoA, we had explained this step in very detail, that this step is a multi-enzyme complex involved here. for the conversion of pyruvate to acetyl CoA. Same way, the multi-enzyme complex will involve here for the conversion of alpha-ketoglutarate to succinyl coenzyme A, where first is a decarboxylation, dehydrogenation, and there is a addition of coenzyme A also takes place here. This step is catalyzed by 3 enzymes and 5 coenzymes. Yeah, this is extremely important in terms of MCQ. For detail, to know the detail of these steps, how these enzymes are working, you can watch my previous video of converting pyruvate to acetyl CoA. Right? We will just explain this step here in a very short, that this alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase enzymes, it is having the 3 enzymes E1, E2 and E3. Yeah, 3 enzymes, 5 coenzymes, that is thymine pyrophosphate, lipoic acid, coenzyme A, FAD and NAD. These 5 coenzymes are there, 3 enzymes, and together it makes a complex, multi-enzyme complex, that is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase complex. There is one mnemonics to remember this coenzymes. That boy is proposing to his girlfriend and he is saying that I am very trustworthy, loving, caring for Nancy. Yeah, trustworthy, loving, caring for Nancy. So with the help of that, you can remember these coenzymes. Together, this multi-enzyme complex, they are doing decarboxylation, dehydrogenation and addition of one coenzyme A. Yeah, so this is the important step of converting alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl CoA, and the enzyme multi-enzyme complex is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Okay. Next, succinyl coenzyme A will convert to succinate, and enzyme is succinate thiokinase. Kinase means addition of phosphate group. Yeah, here will get directly will generate ATP. Up till now, what is happening? This NADH, which has produced here, they will first enter into electron transport chain and then it will generate ATP. Yeah, one NADH will give 3 ATP, and second, so one more, so 6, and one more will come here. Yeah, so together in the Krebs cycle 3 NADH will generate, so that will give the 9 ATP. But here we are getting ATP directly, so that this is known as a substrate level phosphorylation, and generation of ATP from NADH after entering into electron transport chain, that requires oxygen. Yeah, so that is known as a oxidative phosphorylation, and here it is a substrate level phosphorylation. Directly we are getting ATP from substrate. So first GDP will convert to GTP, and this phosphate group will remove, and again it will come back to GDP, and here ADP will convert to ATP. Yeah, so this is a substrate level phosphorylation where succinyl coenzyme A will convert to succinate. It is an energy rich compound which will directly produce ATP, and succinate thiokinase is a name of enzyme. Got it? This citrate, 6 carbon compound, isocitrate, again 6 carbon compound. After removal of 1 carbon, so alpha ketoglutarate, 5 carbon, again one more removal of carbon in the form of carbon dioxide, so this is 4. Now after succinyl coenzyme A, all the product till oxaloacetate will be 4 carbon compound, right? First 6 carbon, after removal of one carbon in the form of carbon dioxide, the rest will be 6 carbon compound. Okay, so this step up till from the conversion of citrate to succinyl CoA, it is a very important step, and here the regulation also takes place. regulation of Krebs cycle, that we'll discuss in a next class. Okay. So up till now we had seen that the citrate has converted to isocitrate, that is isomerization reaction. Isocitrate has converted to alpha ketoglutarate, that is a decarboxylation. Yeah, isocitrate dehydrogenase is the name of enzymes where NAD will convert to NADH. Alpha ketoglutarate, most important step. Alpha ketoglutarate will convert to succinyl-CoA. Enzyme is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase enzymes, and one more NADH will generate here. It is a multi-enzyme complex, 3 enzymes and 5 coenzymes. Why I am repeating? Because this is generally asked questions in the MCQ. So there is nothing much to like a tricky thing. Just remember 3 enzymes and 5 coenzymes, and to know the detail of these steps you can watch my previous video. Now succinate, okay, we'll write here. Succinate will convert to fumarate. Fumarate will then convert to malate, and malate final will enter into oxaloacetate. This is a complete Krebs cycle. Succinate will convert to fumarate. So FF. So there must be the one. Here is like see. When isocitrate is converted to alpha ketoglutarate or alpha ketoglutarate is converted to succinyl-CoA, we had seen that there is a generation of energy, or due to the breakdown of the carbon-carbon bond, energy is liberated, not generated. Energy is liberated, and that energy will be captured by NADH. So we can consider it as a battery. If the more energy is releasing, we'll need a large battery. But during the conversion of succinate to fumarate, comparatively less energy will generate. So we'll need a small battery here. So that small battery is FAD. So here there is a conversion of FAD will convert to FADH2, and the enzyme is succinate dehydrogenase. Okay. So one NADH, second NADH, one direct ATP, and now we are getting FADH2. This FADH2 will also enter into the Krebs cycle, but as we are getting 3 ATP generated from NADH, in contrast to that, from FADH2 we will get a 2 ATP. Okay, just consider like this is a large battery, this is a small battery. Yeah, so small battery will enter into the ETC, will generate 2 ATP, large battery will get a 3 ATP. Fumarate to malate, nothing will happen, just addition of water molecule here, and fumarase is the name of enzymes. This is also 4 carbon compound. Now we had already discussed during the Krebs cycle we'll get 3 NADH. So already we got 2 NADH. The final will get here, that is during the conversion of malate to oxaloacetate, there is one more dehydrogenation reaction. Name of the enzyme is malate dehydrogenase, and here there is one more generation of NADH from NAD. So NAD will convert to NADH plus H positive. Got it? Everything is clear? And now this oxaloacetate again will enter into Krebs cycle. Therefore this oxaloacetate is also known as a catalyst of Krebs cycle. Why? Because first it is entering into the cycle, it is involved in a that acetyl-CoA will condense, and again we are regenerating the oxaloacetate back. So one way it is also known as a catalyst of Krebs cycle. There is one mnemonic to remember the Krebs cycle, is that I know some simple formula making option. So C is for citrate, I is for isocitrate, this K is for alpha ketoglutarate, S is for succinyl coenzyme A, this S is for succinate, F is for fumarate, malate and oxaloacetate. C, I know some simple formula making option. Okay. Or there is one more mnemonic, that is citrate is Krebs starting substrate citrate is Krebs starting substrate for making oxaloacetate. So whichever is easy for you, you can use this to remember Krebs cycle. So citrate again, citrate, isocitrate, alpha ketoglutarate, succinyl coenzyme A, succinate, fumarate, malate and oxaloacetate. Yeah, this is a Krebs cycle. Now very shortly we will see the energetics, how much ATPs are generated during the 1 turn of Krebs cycle. See, remember there is a difference between these two. 1 turn of Krebs cycle will generate how much ATP, and if the question were asked that how much ATP generated from Krebs cycle starting from one glucose molecule, then we need to consider the 2 Krebs cycle. Why? Because from starting from glucose we got pyruvate, which is a 3 carbon compound pyruvate. So we got 2 pyruvate molecules, and that 2 pyruvate molecules then converted to acetyl CoA, and 2 acetyl CoA will enter into Krebs cycle. So if the question was asked from starting from the glucose how much ATP is generated, then we take into consideration the 2 Krebs cycle. But if the generally asked question is that how much ATP generated in the 1 turn of Krebs cycle, so we will take just 1 turn into consideration. Okay, and starting from glucose, so we will multiply it by 2. 1 first, second and third. So 3 NADH will generate here. 1 direct ATP. Oh, okay. So before that we will take this into consideration. 1 FADH2 and 1 ATP via substrate level phosphorylation. So 3 NADH is equal to 9 ATP. 1 NADH will generate 3 ATP in electron transport chain. Okay, so 3 NADH will generate 9 ATP. 1 FADH2 will generate 2 ATP and 1 direct. So 12 ATP will be generated in a 1 turn of Krebs cycle. And if starting from the glucose molecule was asked, then we'll multiply 12 by 2, so we'll get 24 ATP. Okay, so next class we'll see the regulation of Krebs cycle. Okay, thank you.